50s Night Show with Katie Korak with a brand new and interesting episode with special guests Allen Ginsberg, John Lofton, and a great Allen fan, Diana Di Prima. We will begin the show by talking about the well-known poem Howl. It is one of traditional poems that changed the American society. It had a great effect that influenced many, along with creating different views that arise in few problems. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our great guest, Allen Ginsberg.
Hello, Katie. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, Allen. Please take a seat.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay, so we have all been wondering what led you to the making of the poem Howl.
Well, Katie, that's an interesting question. Well, I believe that in American society today, that many Americans are restricted of freedom of speech, and that's what led to the making of this poem.
Very well done. Did you keep in mind of what people would say after they read a poem that is so diverse?
I did, like, many of the things that included in the poem had things that normal Americans wouldn't talk about, like sexual images, sexual orientation, stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. Now please welcome our great guest and fan of Allen, Diana Di Prima.
Hello, Diane. It's so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Hello, Katie, and congratulations on the show.
Thank you, Diana. Please take a seat. So I was very anxious to know, actually, I think everybody was very anxious to know, the reason for you to be such a great supporter and fan of the poem Howl, while many others viewed it in, not such a positive way.
Well, I just love the truthfulness and the originality it has.
What exactly do you mean by truthfulness and originality?
Well, as you can see, the poem is telling us what's going on, the negative effects of World War II. Not only the perfect picture of American society, and it's original because Ginsberg uses the rhythms of ordinary speech and also the diction of ordinary speech. I will say the poem uses necessarily the language of vulgarity, the work of a truly honest poet.
Yes. And what do you think Howl goes against exactly that makes you such a great fan?
As once a great person said, a powerful work couldn't through to dynamic, meaning it is a howl against everything in our mechanistic civilization, which kills the spirit. Its positive forces and energy come from redemption, quality of love.
What do you think about that, Mr. Allen? You just said some great words.
I do think she said some great words, Katie. I believe that everything she said comes from the heart. She is a supporter of my poem and believes that many of the things that are happening in this country should be changed.
Perfect response.
Thank you, man.
Please welcome Mr. John Lofton. Hi, it's a pleasure to have you. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
We're all wondering what makes you have a different perspective on the poem Howl.
The poem Howl. I find it sprawling, I find it disorganized, and I find it sexually explicit, and it's not appropriate to be used for the society today. The first section of your poem says that I saw the best young minds of my generation being destroyed by madness. Does that apply to you, Mr. G?
First off, it's the best minds, not the best young of minds. That's an improper quotation. Second, that is a hyperbole statement. It could also be a romantic statement. And finally, it could be related to me and to anybody else.
Yes, man. Snap a snap.
1956. Your mother died in a psychiatric institute. Is that right, mister?
Yes, it is.
In 1949, you were in a psychiatric institute in Colombia. Is that right, too?
That's correct too.
So is that madness what you got from there? Are you trying to show in your poem?
Madness is human nature. There are many types of madnesses. In fact, madness is divine.
Sorry guys, sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to ask a question to you, Mr. Allen. Do you really, no, or does it really matter to you what